Welcome on in, guys. Tobin here with you. Thanks for checking out the channel. Man, it's Miami Dolphins. They're so ready for a joint practice. Who's not ready to see the Dolphins take on somebody else in practice? These joint practices have become all the rage. You saw there was a little bit of a scuffle today. Giants and Lions getting after it. And Mike McDaniel even made he's like, about that time. It's about that time. You know, it's been nice. I think all the story, like, training camp needs to go into certain flows, and you're so happy that it's back, and it's like a warm glow of just football updates, and it's been fun, but then guys are in and out, and, you know, some guys are missing many straight days, like Jordan Poyer. He's missed 4 straight practices. Jordan Brooks, Anthony Walker, they're banged up. Cam Smith, he's back, but he's back for individual drills. You know, can only watch Jalen Phillips do the ladder so many times and shuffle between. Excited for him beating science, but it's like, man, you really want to see, can these guys go out there and compete against somebody else? You got a fun Falcons team coming in here, veteran quarterback in Kirk Cousins. When he's not playing, you're going to have this top 10 pick in Michael Penix Jr., who should be fun to watch to see how they go up against this new crafted Dolphins defense that, yes, we'll have some missing pieces, especially at linebacker and seemingly safety, but you'll get to see how everything works. There seems to be a fun secondary battle that's brewing with Kader Kohu and Ethan Bonner, especially with last year's second-round pick not being out, and Anthony Weaver saying that there's scars for Cam Smith. So I just think this is going to be a fun test. I think it's going to feel like it's got a little bit more juice to it because it's nice to read, hey, who won today? Offense, defense, offense, up and down day. Like, they're all working on stuff. It's starting to get to the point where it's tough to glean on stuff, although it was still goosey to see the diving catch today by Tyreek Hill that the team puts out. But, yeah, I think you want to feel like it's got a little bit more substance to it. And a lot of the times these joint practices have become almost more valuable than the preseason game, because the preseason game, probably the most interesting thing that we're going to get out of it is the QB2 battle, which I guess isn't nothing, but it is not something you want to ever be a focus of the team. And who are the guys going to be? Skylar Thompson, Mike White. It feels like the Dolphins would be screwed in either sense if those guys are getting a majority of games. No disrespect, but it's one of these things where when that starts becoming like, oh, there's a QB2 thing brewing, you know, you're starting to get to the point of camp where it's like, we need some new factors being thrown in the experiment here. We need something a little bit juicier. And the fun thing about it is Mike McDaniel, Raheem Morris, he's got defensive-minded coach, offensive-minded coach going at it. These guys have a past relationship. Mike McDaniel saying he's one of his favorite people in the sport. So you feel like these guys are going to get a lot of a benefit out of it, that there's going to be some good juice going into this practice and bringing forth, you know, hopefully a big benefit for these Miami Dolphins. But for right now, you know, it's been at a point where I think the good stories that you're reading about, Quentin Bell has been a really cool one. If you guys don't remember, he was the guy, Max Crosby had the jersey on in Hard Knocks. He got the orange jersey today, so now he's gone from stupid yellow penny during practice to the orange jersey, which is pretty impressive, and especially at a position where you're like, what are the Miami Dolphins going to have there? This is where the cool parts are there of opportunity to step forth and see, hey, I'm going to make something out of this. If there's no Jalen Phillips, if there's no Bradley Chubb, you got some rookies out here. I know I've got some chops being around here a little bit. That, to me, is a really fun story for him to put this type of notice on himself this early in camp, or at this part of camp, is pretty cool. The word was today that Mohamed Kamara had a nice day of practice, that he was getting some pressures going. He's had what has felt like a little bit of a quiet camp. There's definitely been a lot more buzz around the first-round pick, noticeably so. That Chop is going to get more of the buzz and the fanfare. But Mohamed Kamara, you know, I think a lot of people were excited about that pick, knowing the kind of production that he put forth with Colorado State. So, you know, maybe he can get into the mix here too. But for Mike McDaniel, he made the point, this is about time where you need to get going. Even though it was a goosey day at Dolphins camp, because they announced today Tim Bowens, Timbo, is going up in the Ring of Honor for your Miami Dolphins. He'll be going up Week 8, October 27th against the Arizona Cardinals. And this is really cool. First of all, this guy is beloved by his teammates, and especially the legend. Zach Thomas even showed up today. I don't know if you guys saw the video. If you haven't, go check it out after this at the Dolphins Twitter account, or pause, go to the Dolphins Twitter account to watch it. And Zach Thomas, you just see Zach Thomas, like, he's got the goosies. Tim Bowens has the goosies. And when a big man like that gets emotional after his accomplishments, you're just like, ooh. It feels, you feel something, right? And I do think that Zach Thomas and Jason Taylor getting their guy up there, they love Tim Bowens. Both of them now Hall of Famers. To have him go up in the ring with them is pretty damn special. I believe he was already on the Walk of Fame, but you talk to these guys, you hear them in reverence talk about that era of Dolphins football. They don't do it without mentioning Tim Bowens and everything that he brought to that team. So I think it's pretty damn awesome that the Dolphins are making this making this honor, because I was wondering, like, man, who is going to be the next guy to go up there? Like, is it going to be Madison? Is it going to be Surtain? We were talking about this when Xavier Howard retired. Is Xavier Howard Ring of Honor worthy? Cam Wake? It's because there hasn't been a guy up there in a while. They haven't done an honor like this for the franchise in a while. And so Tim Bowens is a pretty cool one to put forth there. And it was also nice because you also get an opportunity to have Zach Thomas, one of the smartest players. He doesn't come around all the time, but you had him at camp today. You got to meet with the linebackers. Obviously wishing that, all of them and everybody would have been healthy. But, anytime you get the great Zach Thomas to get some eyes on practice, Dan's around a lot more. But Zach Thomas, Jason Taylor obviously has his obligations with the Miami Hurricanes. So it is pretty cool. Anytime you have legends around, that gets me in the feels, dude. I am going to be very, very excited about this. And the Dolphins are at a point right now where, they're revving up for this preseason. All the drama is seemingly behind them. I did hear Mike McDaniel's press conference say that man is sick of Tua contract questions. He was asked today some level of hey, can you clarify how much did you go to bat for Tua and where you were at with this whole thing? And you could just tell this man is done with this topic.
I'm an exuberant guy that really stands behind his beliefs. I don't think they needed to hear me say the same thing over and over, but I probably said the same thing over and over. Like I said, there's a lot of people that were working on that deal that should get high fives, and you can just give me a nod. Because I'm not the I'm let's just say I was very excited for it to be done, and I was very excited to stop fielding questions like these because I'm only thinking about the team. Oh wait, I'm still answering them. No, it's all good. Have a good one, guys.
He is he is done with Tua contract topics. They did try and sneak another one in today because they're talking about Javon Holland and his deal. Who's to say? I'm not going to rule it anything. Stephen Ross, to his credit, he has been opening up the wallet. He has gone truly all in. This hasn't been a Jerry Jones bull bleep. I'm all in. Stephen Ross is definitely can point to everybody in that locker room and be like, hey, dude, I am all in. I spent on the faces of this team. Let's friggin' go. You've heard the comments from Tua this weekend where, there's going to be a lot of accountability. There's no sulking over everything. There's going to be a lot more call-outs. They've talked about the bully mentality. All right, hey, listen, all the talk has been fantastic. It really has been. But this is truly, I think, a fan base that gets excited about the talk, but also is getting weary of the talk not being backed up, and it needs to be. And, you see the likes of the guys around there today, and Tim Bowens and Zach Thomas, guys who would back it up, even maybe not even to the level that they probably thought that they could have, but at least there were playoff wins back then. Not, now you're just praying you can snap a streak. So you're hoping that's the case, and this era of accountability that the Dolphins are going into, year 3 under Mike McDaniel, that all the talk is done and that they can put it all behind them and make something happen. But that being said, these joint practices this week, I think it should be fun. There's some fun talent on both sides of the football that the Dolphins got to go take advantage of. There's a fun matchup of young head coaching minds going at each other. So I'm excited for that for sure.